But the main thing we wanted to do for you guys is kind of point out, like, okay, if you're not in on Pepe or if you want more, um, it's a little bit of a dangerous time to just start like aping in now. Maybe with like a part of your bag, if you're really desperate to not get left behind, like you could do that. But some of those levels that Armada just identified would be kind of what we're looking for.
Welcome back, everybody, to another episode of WAGME TV. We have a great one for you guys today. We're updating you on Pepe Coin specifically, with obviously the backdrop of the ETH ETF getting approved this week. We have a lot of exciting news, and we want to focus on some of the price action, potential price prediction, and price targets for Pepe Coin. But I'm kicking it over to Soham first to give us a little bit of the lay of the land as to why we're looking at these meme coins now, and a little bit more into the ETH ETF background. So, Soham, I'll hand it over to you.
Yeah, absolutely. I think like kind of the main story of this cycle so far has been how the meme coins have been kind of interplaying within the broader crypto landscape, and what we've seen as a trend kind of over the last like 6 to 8 months as this bull run has really gotten going is we've seen that the meme coins of a specific blockchain actually end up being one of the biggest beta plays to that specific blockchain. For example, we had Bonk and we had Dog with Hat, for example, on Sol, and those ended up, a few months ago being kind of the main beta plays to Solana. So if Solana went up, if Solana went up at this point, it's probably up like 5 or 6x since from the bottom, right? Maybe even more than that. Obviously, you've had these meme coins on Solana absolutely rip like 10,000%, all of that, right? Similarly, on Ethereum, Pepe is has kind of emerged as this top meme coin of the Ethereum blockchain. And so with the huge news last week that that the ETH ETF got approved, obviously we had like the massive God candle on Ethereum. I think I saw somewhere that it added like Solana's entire market cap in like 24 hours, just like the biggest candle, 1 day candle on Ethereum in years. Obviously, after that incredible piece of news. Now, what you see here is, there's various different beta plays on how you can play it. You can play it through L2s. We've talked a little bit about the base ecosystem and how that could be a potential beta play to Ethereum. But really the one that has been the number one beta play has been Pepe. And so that's kind of like a backdrop of why we want to focus on Pepe and why we think it can do really well. It's established itself as kind of the number one beta play for Ethereum. So I'll kick it over to Amada, and he can take us through kind of the charts and what we're seeing there.
Yeah, absolutely. I'll pull it up here, and just kind of while I'm doing that, it is really interesting because I feel like crypto in the past, really, it went from Bitcoin to kind of Ethereum and then to some of the large caps. And then it kind of trickled down from the larger the cap to the smaller the cap. It feels like it's almost flipping in a way, like Bitcoin or Ethereum or Solana will run, and then it'll just jump straight to meme coins that just go crazy. So it has been really interesting. And I wonder if that changes as kind of the cycle continues to mature. Back to kind of the precedent. But maybe we're just living in a new cycle where everyone's getting really hyped up. So dive it into Pepe specifically. Honestly, crazy looking chart, especially as of late, as Soham mentioned. But if we're looking for kind of some of the support lines that we're going into, these are the horizontal support lines that I've identified, which are pretty far away from where we're at currently, right? I mean, we're pretty hard into price discovery. So it could, like any meme coin or coins that run like crazy like this, it has a very big opportunity to have a massive pullback on these. So just be wary of that if you're looking to get in at this point, right? It has been making a huge run. It's quite overextended. So it could be worth waiting to come back to some of these levels, right? However, same concept within meme coins, right? They can run like crazy and they can continue to run. You never quite know exactly when they're going to stop. So these are the two levels that I've identified as like pretty heavy support if we are to pull back into these levels. Some things that I wanted to kind of identify here on the chart as well are some of these just general trend lines, right? So we saw this trend line back from the launch of the coin, at least on Binance specifically, to the high back in March of 2024. We actually broke out of that just last week, which is crazy to see. We basically retested it. I don't know if we quite retested it, but it feels like this has definitely been claimed as support at this point, right? So it's moving up. It's done really, really well. Moving forward with a couple more of these, this was another trend line that I had identified where we actually came down, we broke down from it, retested it and rejected it, and then just completely blew through it, which is really, really awesome to see. So that's the next one. The only other one that I've really been looking at, and this is one that we really don't want to lose if you want to be bullish on Pepe, is this general uptrend since the local low back in April. So we definitely want to keep this if you want to be bullish on Pepe. But really, anything coming back down towards these trend lines would be a good time to purchase or buy Pepe, likely. Based on the charts, or of course, if it ever gets a push down to these levels, it could be a good time to actually start accumulating into it. If we're thinking about kind of where Pepe could go from here, here are some really nice trend lines. So say it pulls back and kind of retests some of these levels. I mean, very quickly you could see this thing go pretty exponential from there. I mean, if it came back and retested this longer trend line, for example, I mean, you could see this thing go at least 50% from there till it finds some pretty hard resistance. So not a whole ton on the chart necessarily, just because it's so overextended and it's in price discovery. But here are some of the things that we've kind of identified so far.
Yeah, the main thing here is we all know that, meme coins, like I think Pepe is approaching $7 billion market cap. So, I think we've done some meme coin videos in the past where we kind of comp to previous cycles, and Doge went to like 100 billion, Shib went to like 40 billion. So still obviously like a lot of X's potentially to be had within the cycle. But the main thing we wanted to do for you guys is kind of point out like, okay, if you're not in on Pepe or if you want more, um, it's a little bit of a dangerous time to just start like aping in now. Maybe with like a part of your bag, if you're really desperate to not get left behind, like you can do that. But some of those levels that Armada just identified would be kind of what we're looking for in terms of entries kind of in the short term. Yeah, Garcia, any thoughts? Otherwise, I think that basically wraps it up for today.
No, I think that basically racks it up. I think Mata did a great job showing the key levels, and I think the main key caveat that he reiterated on is like, hey, this is all dependent on how ETH and Bitcoin are going to be doing, right? So I mean, if you see Bitcoin drop 5% on a daily, don't be surprised if one of these coins, especially if you're in the meme area, drops 25% a day, right? So just kind of keep your eye on the ball and obviously take that caveat to heart. But some risk here, but at the same time, we have room to run, and this is where the outsized gains are. So we'll keep tabs on this for you guys. Keep up, the most detailed coverage we can in terms of TA and news on these coins. But like, comment, subscribe. Let us know how you're feeling about Pepe and some other meme coins that you might be in. But until next week, wag me.